Alright, so we are back. Let's jump into these and get started out there in the Dragon's Dungeon after the dailies. So I'll do a quick little record, and then we will jump back into it once I am done. Over there I'll show you guys my team and what I will be farming, just so you guys know, and some of the newer players might not know specifically going into dragons. Give you my thoughts and that kind of stuff, and then we will come back for in for the finish up on that. And Dragon's Dungeon will be done for probably for the rest of the year for me. I'll be farming, get back into farming here a little bit. How much time we got? We got 5 hours on that. We're at 18. Yeah, no, it's good there. So, like I said, let's jump out there. Everything is... Oh, yeah, let's grab the trinkets. And... yeah, let's do fire. Why not? Now, again, something as a reminder before I do that video on there, for those of you who watch the dailies too. Going into the Dragon's Dungeon, one thing that I don't do that a lot of other people do, and I'll probably just make it more of the focus on that video is talking about gems and again their importance, and why I do what I do. It's definitely not, again, the most optimized out there. However, for me, before it was brought up to me, and then I actually checked it myself, because one of the things with Monster Super League over the years that I kind of got caught up with on here was gems were kind of just gems. You needed them. Your gems are what make your Astromon shine. But the bigger thing to take back from is they all felt the same to me. So it got to a point where as long as you understood the set bonus, and what you were necessarily thinking about doing with it, like putting on your Astromon for whatever content you were about to try and tackle, pretty much to me the gems always just felt they all had the same stats. And of course, like I said, it was brought to my attention this year by someone who was watching and subscribed to the channel, that you basically, like, there were actual different stats, but it seems like there's still only the one gem with the stats stat change, and that's a triangle gem with crit damage on there, and that specifically comes down to your attacking Astromon, because as kind of the history for myself in this game, right? When Monster Super League, so again, I played it when it came out, but I didn't start playing it seriously until about a year after, where I literally been doing the dailies every day. I've done the weeklies, etc., etc. So what the game was back then, and it still kind of is today, is we talk about you see all the square gems on my Astromon. Just as an example here, right? You guys see my gem slots for my Victoria here is all square gems. We go on to Miho. She does have the one triangle, but pretty close to having what we used to call, and technically I still call it a perfect Astromon in that aspect. It has square gems. Same thing for Persephone here, as all square gems. And the reason why, again, we thought that was perfect was square gems are the easiest to farm in this game. Okay, it is very easy for you to go out, and you spend a lot of time doing it, but you can farm up a very good square gem set for your Astromon, and I've done that over the past 4 years to a very good success. The reason why all that matters is when we talk about going into the Dragon's Dungeon or the Golem's dungeon, when you need, you want to farm up a new set of gems for whatever Astromon that you have, instead of taking gems off of one Astromon and putting it over. You also might want to roll the dice with the substats and not have to use their the paid feature to or not paid feature to buy stat reroll gems, or you don't want to use them, you want to use them sparingly, whatever um, the thought process is by you goes, but you go in there and you want to farm them. Going deeper into the dungeons obviously grant you better chances at the higher star gems. So specifically getting 6-star gems, and then you're playing against the randomness of, well, hopefully I see, let's say I'm going for a Valor set. Hopefully I see a 6-star square Valor set attack percent gem, and as I just like literally rolled down that, right? We want Valor. We want it to be square. We want it to be 6-star, which is pretty. If you're down there in the golems, it's a 6-star, right? But still, you want the 6-star, but then you want the attack percent. So you're fighting 4 different RNG fests against how many sub probabilities of, well, is it a Valor? Is it a gem of life? Is it a gem of protection? So there's a lot of stuff that ends up rolling down through that. But also, and I'll show it here before I go in there, the other thing with it that I could be running this, but the one thing, as you guys see, I haven't even bothered going into the deeper Colossus dungeon, is I'm also not only are you're fighting for a 5 to 6, and I thought it was a 6-star guaranteed down here. I guess it isn't. Not only are you fighting this this uphill battle, so to speak, for all the colors of the gems, you're also now diamonds. Now you're also doing triangles, which that can work out, because you guys see I struggle to fill some of these slots sometimes when I don't have a gem conversion slot. But for me, Golem's B8, one of the reasons why it's so easily farmable is, once again, it's a guaranteed square, so I don't have to fight the RNG over here. Yes, it's between 4 and 6 stars, but when you're running this so fast and you can run it for so long, your probability, you have a higher probability of seeing the gem that you want more so than not, I have found. And that is tested over 4 years of doing this. So I'm not blowing smoke out my ass, is how I would say that to you. I'm not telling you something that I haven't tested myself, because again, I do like Monster Super League. I have liked it for a very long time. You can get very burnt out in this game though, and especially we've gotten a lot of new content, which has been great, and whatnot, which is good, but there's still certain things, you guys hear me being very critical of the game as of late. But there's a reason for it, and it's just because I do care about the game in that aspect. But once again, that's where I go through that and I talk about that. Now, when we look in the Dragon's Dungeon, this is what I was thinking more of, is you have guaranteed 6-star, these 6-star gems, but look at all the different types here. Not only do you have you're fighting for your special gems, so for you guys coming in here wanting to get SP Siphon gems, gems of the Pugilist or gems of Leech, those are the special gems that are guaranteed here. You're also having to fight against everything as well on the probability scale for everything else in here. And that's kind of my biggest hit on this, is how this ends up, how this looks, right? And so for me, coming in here for Dragon's B7, which again I'll talk about in that video, I'm not going to elaborate in here, this is a lot easier. Once again, if you have all square gems on your Astromon, this is a lot easier for you to farm, because this is an easy Dragons. Once you get the team to get down to this, I farmed this one so many times that it doesn't, again, I get the gems eventually that I want. It takes time, and that's another thing with Monster Super League, and I've said that since the beginning, and I will continue to say that, and that's hopefully something that does get changed, is Monster Super League suffers from the huge amount of time investment into the game, and you really will have to want to dedicate it for that reason. But regardless, I'm gonna go get recording the gem video for you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.